Ohio State got themselves a quarterback for game one at least. They got a starting quarterback for game one. And the headline read like, hey, Ohio State names a starter. Ohio State's got their guy, quarterback one for Ohio State. And that's not untrue. But if we're acting like this is just going to be a done deal now going forward, like it's Kyle McCord's job and nothing else, I think we're playing ourselves a little bit there. This thing is not over. Kyle McCord is going to have to earn this job day in and day out. We'll talk about that more in a second. But Kyle McCord is the guy for game one. He is the starter for game one. Devin Brown's going to play. But with Kyle McCord being named the starter, Ryan Day cited consistency during fall camp, which I think is absolutely, probably true. I think there's a real element to that. But also, you have to imagine experience played some kind of factor in this. Kyle McCord paid his dues. Kyle McCord waited behind C.J. Stroud when he could have gone somewhere else. Like, he's been around this operation a little bit. And this, to me, is Ryan Day saying, I have a Ferrari of an offense. I want to go with the most steady hands possible. We're going to go 80 down the freeway now, sometimes faster, with Marvin Harrison Jr. playing receiver, Emeka Egbuka, Trevion Henderson, Mayan Williams, like all that. I want to have steady hands on the wheel. That's not to say anything about Devin Brown. Devin Brown, according to the good people at Letterman Row, Ohio State's On3 site, they said he had the better scrimmages in terms of like the exciting moments. Like Devin Brown, if you were cutting up highlights, he probably has more highlight plays based on what we're hearing from scrimmages than Kyle McCord. Now, unfortunately for Devin Brown, he still had more of those big mistakes that were occasional in nature, but still, we can't be crashing the Ferrari now. We got to keep that thing between the lines and full speed ahead because we have that kind of talent. That's the way Ohio State is built. So, Devin Brown will play in this football game at Indiana. And I love that Ryan Day is letting this thing go a little bit longer, is how I'm viewing this. Yes, you named Kyle McCord the starter for game one. This derby is still ongoing. Like I was mentioning, the live bullets within a college football game for your quarterback position will not lie to you. Yes, it's at Indiana. No, it's not Michigan just yet. That's totally fine. There's a very big difference between doing whatever you were doing in practice in a non-contact jersey and then being asked to go do the exact same thing when you have 11 grown men across from you and your jersey is the same color as the rest of your teammates and getting hit in the mouth when you're looking down the barrel and you got your guy wide open on a seam route and the only way you get him the rock is stepping into it, knowing you're going to get hit in the ribs and delivering a rope. You can't simulate in that practice. You can't get that moment in 11 on 11 during fall camp. You get it in the game though. So for Ryan Day to be able to test these guys in that kind of setting and still evaluate these guys, I think that's going to pay enormous dividends for Ohio State because the way we talk about Ohio State, they're built to win a national title. If they get the quarterback position right, and they got 2 5-stars, they're built to win a national title. If your schedule is what it is, and Ohio State's first couple of games are not necessarily the most daunting opponents, no disrespect to Indiana, you get to learn more about your quarterbacks. And more data is always going to be a thing that you should say yes to. If you can learn more about these guys, you should take that. Because it ensures then that your ultimate final decision, whoever is your quarterback for Ohio State, is the guy for your football team going forward. Because when you look at what Ohio State has in front of them, it's not going to be a situation where they go with 2 quarterbacks the entirety of the season, is what I want to make sure we're clear on here. You got 2 guys that can play, but I think they want to have one guy that can, one, be the guy they build the offense around and say, hey, Devin Brown, week in and week out, what do you like? Hey, Kyle McCord, do you like this system going forward? Do you like this game plan going forward for what we have drawn up here for Penn State? Yes, no? Okay, well, then let's tailor it to what you like. That's extremely important for your offense. And the other part, so you have a leader. So you have someone to follow. Because having been in locker rooms with quarterback battles going on, it's a little bit divisive. Because everyone has some opinion on who the quarterback should be. And so you kind of ride with one guy and the other side of the locker room rides with the other guy. It doesn't have to be extremely divisive to a negative standpoint, but having one leader of the offense that everyone's on board with, that everyone trusts, that is clearly your leader, I think that helps your football team. I think it gives your football team better direction. Also, it gives you someone to look to when you're in the foxhole. Because if that wasn't your guy, if that wasn't the guy that you wanted to play quarterback and the other guy is also getting reps and quarterback A throws the interception, but you were a fan of quarterback B, it's going to be really quickly easy for the guys that were fans of quarterback B to say, man, we got the wrong guy playing quarterback. Man, if he was in the game, if it was his drive, if it was his turn to play, that wouldn't be happening. You don't want that. You want one guy to follow, to rally around, to be your leader, to go win you football games. So I think you find out more about who that guy is from these games, obviously. Getting a little bit more of the it factor out there in Columbus, which you need to be the quarterback at Ohio State. We've said it a few times. I'll say it again. You have to have the it factor. You have to be the guy to play quarterback at Ohio State. You don't have to have that everywhere, but at schools that are enormous brands, which you are going to be a very visible guy, not just on campus, but in the state. I'm talking like Georgia. I'm talking Bama. I'm talking Michigan. You got to have the guy to play quarterback at Ohio State. So this will help them figure it out a little bit better. If you have any hesitation about who Ryan Day ends up going with here, if you have hesitation about him having Kyle McCord as the starter for game one, I would say there's two reasons why you can feel confident in Ryan Day. The first is his track record. Like Ryan Day has created a standard by who he's had his starting quarterback be in the past of you're going to be a first-round pick, you're going to be a Heisman finalist. Pretty much the unofficial, official standard to be a quarterback at Ohio State based on guys who have been a part of that operation recently. Okay, so that's the first thing. The other thing is when it comes to pressure around this situation, there is nobody with more stake in the game than Ryan Day. Like, Ryan Day is 0-2 against Michigan the last 2 years. You don't think he feels some pressure to put the right guy on the field to get them back over that hump, to get them back to achieving their standard? He understands that. And there's not hot seat pressure on him, but there is pressure for them to get back to the standard that's set internally there. And it's in that building. It's from that fan base. It's all over Columbus. So if you're unhappy with who Ryan Day is going with, I would say let's hold back a little bit. He knows what he's looking at. He's seen the best of the best come through there in Columbus. He understands what it takes to play quarterback there. And also the pressure that he's feeling is worlds greater than what anybody else is feeling. So if he's betting on somebody, he's betting the house on him. So Kyle McCord, the starter for game one at Indiana. Devin Brown will play. This thing, though, is very much so far from over in Columbus. The hard count is brought to y'all by the good people over at Game Time. Now, I want to put y'all in a certain situation. Let's say you want to go to Florida State LSU. It's coming up this Sunday night, and you're like, man, I would love to be at that game, but tickets, I can't find tickets anywhere. I can't find them. And even if I couldn't find them for a reasonable price. Well, here's the deal. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for not just one, but all the big-time game events, including LSU Florida State, including that comedy show you want to go to, including that concert. I think Drake's on tour right now, so check that out. We're about to get college football season rolling. Make sure that you are able to get the last-minute tickets with the best deals possible in the entire game. Florida State LSU, got you covered. Clemson Duke, got you covered. Any game you want, I promise you, there are tickets over at Game Time. So, Game Time is the place, like I said, for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. You can get tickets and deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. They have exclusive flash deals on tickets, all sports, entertainment events, and the Game Time guarantee means, let's say you find a ticket that's pretty good price, but you find a ticket on another site that is in the same row, same section, virtually the same seat, for a better price Game Time, they're going to credit you 110% of the difference. So here's what we're going to do. Snag tickets without the stress with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. We appreciate Game Time taking care of us. They're going to take care of you. So lock it in, redeem that code, get the app. College football season. Let's get after it. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.